Okay, good evening.
Yes.
Welcome to today's class. And today we'll be talking about CSS. It will be an introduction to CSS. As we've been using, the site we've been using since the beginning of time has been Geeks for Geeks. It
Okay.
has a lot of information within it. Let us try to go to CSS homepage. Can you see this page?
Yeah, I can.
What exactly is wrong with Oh, well, what's wrong with them then? I was trying to access this page. Okay. Now, I told you before that CSS um, is styling, is used for styling your web page.
Yes.
So, if you look at it, it said that CSS cascading style sheet is used for styling web pages. Should we call it a language? Is it a language? Should I really call it a language? Oh, I guess it seems we have a visitor here.
Right.
Huh. Um, so there are lots of things you need to know when it comes to CSS. Most of the
All right.
time, you need to know the foundation. As I've said earlier, I told you that even if you are to use a framework, it is very important for you, very crucial for you to know um, the foundation and how CSS is built. For example, if there is something you need to achieve and the framework is unable to give you that, then you might need to write your own CSS. They will not be spending long on CSS to touch the fundamentals, and I've told you several times to make your own research. At least that will help you a lot.
Yes.
According to CSS, CSS has also evolved like HTML. The We have versions of CSS. Currently, we are on version 3, and there are also several frameworks in for CSS. The most common of all is Bootstrap. Bootstrap is developed by Twitter. We also though Bootstrap is a very sorry for that. Bootstrap is a very heavy CSS framework. Though it's not that heavy, but sometimes it can consume up around 200 kilobytes or more if you're not careful. So there are the minified versions as well.
Mm.
Sometimes people advise using Tailwind CSS. This one,
Okay.
Tailwind CSS is a very light CSS compared to Bootstrap. I'm not a front end guy, but at least I interact with front end as well. But I've checked these two, I've compared this to Bootstrap and Tailwind, and I found out that Tailwind is very, very light. The least CSS I've used before was around, I think it's around 125 kilobytes, but this one, so small, very, very small, and it's very good if you know how to use it. While in CSS, we've already said before, styling is an important property for any website. It increases the standard and overall look of the website that makes it easier for the user to interact with. For example, if you look at this web page, look at all the colors, look
Yeah.
at how the menu is laid, look at the sidebar, look at this side, look at this button, look at this green text, even look at this particular button you look at. If I click on it, it take me up.
Yeah.
So That is also part of CSS. You can also use CSS alone to achieve this. Sometimes if you want to use JavaScript, you can also use it as well. Aha. So there are so many things in CSS if you want to use, if you want to do CSS. Part of it, you can also use CSS to draw shapes. For example, you want to draw a pyramid. I've seen crazy CSS, like the crazy CSS that is used to draw shapes. Though that is for a really advanced level if you really want to go deep into front end development. Um, another see another thing you can use CSS for is animation. You can use it to control animation. For example, sometimes if you hover, do you know what hover means? Hover means if you place your mouse on an item, like for example, look at this image. This is an image here. If I place my
Yeah.
mouse on it, the mouse changes. The mouse changes has changed to this zoom, this an icon. So
Okay.
now this is a zoom effect. It means on enter we was, I think this one not focused. I think is it on enter. There's a particular property event we use for this one. I think some use on enter, but this one like on hover. That is hover whenever the mouse is directly over this item, no matter the particular section of the item, something should happen. Now the mouse has already changed to a zoom pointer. Now that for some buttons, if you place your mouse like just on them like this, okay, I think we have a sample here. Sorry to show this. If you look at this particular button, if I hover my mouse on it, did you see what just happened?
Yeah, it changed to hand.
Hmm?
The cursor changed to hand while the button changes color.
Of course. Apart from that, what else did you see?
Like from the mouse aspect or the button aspect.
The button. What can you see?
The button changes to hand, like pointer.
Can you see a slight animation, a brief animation on
Yes,
it?
I can see on the part of the button.
Like the button, like a color is moving from the left to
Yes,
right.
like off white.
Off wire.
Off white.
That's also a slight animation. You can use CSS to do a lot. So have it in mind that if you want to really go deep down into CSS, there's a lot to learn, my friend.
Okay.
So that's just an introduction. And if you really want to deep dive into that, I would recommend you a book. Though apart from going into that, before using that book, I will advise you to check the fundamentals on this website, because that book expects you to have gone so far, like your skills is you have dealt with the foundation. Though they will still take you a bit on this stuff, the foundation aspect, but it will be very brief.
Okay.
Okay, I think we've done a lot of introduction on this. We said CSS moved from version 1 to 2 to 2.1, then to 3. I think, are we currently on version 4? Sorry, since I'm not a front end guy, I have been using this 3 interwoven with 4. I don't even check so much. Wow, CSS Pro. I'm just saying that for the first time. Not, not bad. At least I'm learning something new today. Okay, so if you can also read about the stuff here,
Okay.
the date. With this one is not new to you. So I said in CSS there are some things we call selector, but some things we call property and value. For example, if you have an HTML document, something like this, yes, we have just to watch out for the look at the HTML tags. All these tags are. Please let me check if that person is still there.
Yeah, she's there.
Okay. Who is that person coughing again? If you look at these items, these are tags. All these
Okay.
ones you are looking at are selector. You can use them for selector. This aspect is called the selector. This is a property, and this is the value. Please, you will not continue yawning like that in the class. So, and if you look at these parts, this is also under property value. These are under selector. Each one. I've
Okay.
said if you have another way you can identify your tag. For example, you have an ID or a class. You can use those ones as well for selector. Let me show you a brief selector here. Sorry for this. Are you here to joke, you this woman?
No.
Okay, if you look at this part, this is a selector.
Okay.
Have you seen this before? Something as long as this?
I've not seen something as long as this.
Okay, now if you look at this one, this is a selector. It combines class. It
Yeah.
says get this item where you see this selector. Inside
Okay.
it, there should be inside it. You have to match under class again, which is a child. This one is a child to this one. So inside this item as well, inside this one, there's another child as well that has class social icon. Inside the social icon as well, there's another item called li list. Inside this one, there's another class as well, I. So before you apply this stuff, you have to make sure you follow this path. You have to match the I that is inside this ones like this. If there is an I that is inside this one alone, for example, if you have something like let's say we have something like this. This particular one, this statement
Okay.
is not the same as this statement. This one means get me all I, select all I inside data directly inside this one. Sorry. That's a blunder, sorry. This one you're looking at.
Okay.
If there's an I that is a child of this one, it will match it. If there is an I inside this one as well, it will also match it. If there's another I inside this one, it will also match it. But
Okay.
this one is just like a more global selector than this one. This one is more strict. So this one will select more, and this one will select less. This one is saying you have to make sure the I is inside li and li is inside social icon, and social icon is inside navigation to top, and navigation top is also inside single post area. So that is the work of C selector. If you look, let me see if we have a let's see if you have a hash here. Sorry, there's no. I'm just trying to look for ID. You've seen ID before, where we use instead of
I've
dots,
seen ID before.
we'll
Something
use
like hash.
hash for this one.
Okay.
What is saying is that dot is for class.
Hmm.
Class means many items can bear that name. For example, Baba, the father of the house, is Raymond, and he has 5 children. All the 5 children also bear Raymond because it is a class name, a collective name. But child one has this. Child one is cake, child 2 is rice, and child 3 is wood. Rice is different from wood. Wood is different from cake. Rice is ID, wood is ID, and cake is ID in that case. But Raymond is a class. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, I think we're done with that. Let's go back to our class. Oh, stop this. That's the work of selector. Let's now go into this for more. We have I already told you, have selector. We have the property and the value. Inside selector you can have so many values, and you can have selectors like p, and that one you also see p as well, p dot something. They will just be linking to each other, but a more strict rule, though we also will show you that later. But so that this will not be new if I'm using this. I think we've already shown you this before. Okay, let's check this. This one is, please note, there are some CSS you use that will not work in some browsers. Nowadays we have browsers updating and updating at a very high pace. That does not mean you write some CSS in a browser and it will work fine in another browser. Thank God, we thank God that Internet Explorer is no longer available, because that browser is really a mess in the world of CSS. If you are write CSS, you have to find so many ways to tweak it in order to work in Internet Explorer. But we buried Internet Explorer last year. Isn't it? I think last year. This one says the roots. This one, if you look at this one,
Yes.
colon root. The root selector is used to select all the elements of a document. This selector covers all the HTML elements or tags. So it says it covers all the HTML tags from A to Z. Now, if you look at this one, it says background color. So let's say we have something like this. Let us try to select head h1. Let's say we have it also has its own background color. Red. Let's play it. Wow, it seems this one is not working properly. The root selector is used to select all the elements of an HTML document. This selector covers all the HTML tags. According to this statement, it said that it covers all the tags, but right here I expect this particular property to override this one. Let's see if this one will still work. then it does not cover all tags. Probably it covers some aspects or just the root, and the root is just the body. This is the root of your document body. Don't forget, this is not the root in CSS. This is the root body. So sometimes you may need to test out CSS and what it does. Now we just confirmed that it does not cover all the roots according to this statement. I may be wrong, it may be working differently in another browser, but here in this Chrome it is not working as they've described here. And then it says supported browser. It's supported in Apple Safari 1.0 and above. If you look at this ones, we cannot see other browsers here. It means you have to be very careful if you are using this one. Sometimes I think there's a particular website. Can I use yes, I think this one. It will tell you if you can use a particular style of CSS or something. So you have to sometimes check if it's alright. Though it will tell you, let's say if you have other instrument as well, other websites. Okay, let's just check this one. If you look at this, can I use? What does it say? It's let's say root. It says look at the browsers. You can use it. All the ones is red, not supported. You can see.
Yeah.
In case you have something crucial to do and you want to make sure they are working fine. Let's see something like this. Okay. Yeah. Why are you not coming up? Oh. Oh. Let's check transparent, almost opaque. Let's check opaque. You can see not all the browsers support opaque. So that is why if you see if a CSS is not working the way you want, you can as well modify it to your own. You can just there are many ways to kill errors. If this one does not work, you can find another means to use. So that's that. I think we just checked root. Root is not a class. Sorry, I don't know much about this site, but I think CSS the flow. Where is the CSS part? Ctrl F. Okay, so enough of that. So we'll see practicalize this later.
Okay.
There's something we call regular expression. This particular style you're looking at is regular expression. It says this one is also another way of selecting item. We use the attributes of an item. For example, if you have something like we have P as a tag. We also have class. Class is an attribute of P. here.
Yeah.
So, and this one is its value, the
Right.
value of class. This is the value of this class, this is the value of this class, this is the value of this class. So what this one is now saying is that we want to select an attribute. This attribute, this particular thing you're looking at, select this selector is used to select those elements whose attribute value contains a specific substring str. Now what it's saying is that it should look for all the classes, all these elements where the attributes, this attribute
Yes.
contains this str.
Yes.
Now if you look here, this gigs for gigs, here they said str contains str, but this is just the syntax. Now what we are looking for really is for class. It said look for p, this is p, okay.
Yes.
Now look for class, look for the p that has class. This is a class, they all have class, okay.
Yeah.
Look for those that have for, that is, that contains a substring for. Now look, just scan through this one has for, yes, this is true. This one has for, this one does not have for, this one has for. So it means it will match this one, it will match this one, it will not match this one, it will match this one. Please let me check, is this she still there?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, are you still here? Or you are not following the class?
Yeah.
Oh, she's just a visitor. Most likely she won't come next time. Ah, now we have this for, let's see the output. It says the background color should be green and the color of the text should be white.
Right.
Now if you look at this one, as we've said earlier, look, there's no for in this pseudo gates. See,
Yeah.
so that's the work of that.
You get.
We also have another one which will match exactly what is in that. This one is regular expression.
Okay.
um, though please don't hold me by my word, I didn't say strictly regular expression, but at least it can match something. This one value, it means here if you select this element, where we have this element,
Me, Mary,
please mute your mic, please mute your mic. We'll post this on YouTube. You cannot be having your voice there right now, please. Now we have, it says look for this, where we have element, this particular element, look for this attributes and make sure you find exactly what you see here. Now here, look for h1, make sure it has id and the id has exactly gigs.
Okay.
This one has gigs, this one has gigs, so it will match only algorithm and C++ programming. You can see what am I saying? Background white, color, so the background color green, color white. Okay, wait, am I sleeping? What's going on here? Geeks, background color white. I expect this algorithm color chief, that's green, this green, I'm sorry, wait, just hold on, please. Come on. Why are these people being like this? They're just giving us the wrong code. Or am I the ones? Oh, sorry. Forgive me. Um, age one, sorry. Am I getting old? This is it should match age one. This age one contains gigs. So they're trying to tell us that it will only match where it says gigs inside ID, and the ID is inside age one. So if you look at these ones, they also have gigs, but it's not affecting them. Sorry for the mixed up. If you look at this one, the same thing. You just check that out later. We have this one. It says the element the attributes. This one you have here, it should be the end. It should come last inside the attributes. Like here we have where is that style class? Wow, we have str coming last. This str is str 1 2 3 4 second fourth. If you look at this one, there is no tag, there's no ID, there's no class. Is that okay? So this is another way to use class, though I've not used something like this before. Most of the time I normally access them using class and ID, but if your case warrants you to use this, then you have to use it. Sometimes you find out that all the things you've been doing so far, you cannot achieve them. You need to implement some other thing. Now that we have that is match only those that ends with this one select or starts this particular one, those that starts with something. This one, this tilde, this one is pipe. We call this line, this vertical line slash, it's called pipe in programming. I don't know if it's also called pipe in English, but we call it pipe. Now it says those that starts with something, but a lot of that we've already done end. So this one starts with this value. This one tilde most likely does not contain. So let's check. Selector is used to select those elements whose attributes contains a specific word. Wow. The value must be present in the attribute as a separate word, and not as part of as part of other words. Let's check if this. What this is trying to tell us is that did anybody just jump out and
Yes.
oh,
I'll restore.
okay.
My name our visitor.
Okay, enough of that. We have this one. It says, I told you sometimes ago that we can have so many classes inside a class attribute.
Okay.
Now we have two of these in here. What this one means is telling us is that it should match just one word, it shouldn't be like one that comes last or first, though it can be just one.
Alright.
So that is this. Sometimes we use this for like something to negate some things, but it seems I'm wrong in CSS. A different word entirely. And this one as well, what does it do? Selector is used to select those elements whose attribute value will be against with a given value. Now, what's now the difference between this one? This one begins and this one begins. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah, this one ends, this one begins, this one begins. Check out the difference between this one and this one. Now, mind you, if you are dealing with CSS, there are some things you have to take notes.
Okay.
Those with double colon, most of the time they don't work across browsers. You have to be very, very careful when using them.
Okay.
Look at this one. It says Opera 4 to 6 supports with single colon after. You can see. It means if you are working with this one, you have to consider Opera 4 as well.
Okay.
Now, what does it do after? I'm not trying to tell you what it does here. I'm just trying to call your attention to this double colon. Sometimes they cause chaos. Is there another crucial stuff we have to take note of? Yeah, first child. I think there are sometimes very look at this one too. They also have this thing where they can work, but at least they can work in a considerable amount of browsers. That is a very good thing. I think we've done so much introduction, and that should be enough for a start. In conjunction to what we've done so far, then we can start our practical fully. How was today's class? Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
It's just like a brief introduction to class.
Right.
Mrs. Mariam, did you enjoy the class?
Yes, but I have noise. I know this, so I don't understand much.
Okay, Mr. Adeyemi, right?
Yes.
What can you say about this class?
Oh, we were taught some some introductory aspects to CSS, like selector, class, and how to actually match or ID, like through selector. Right.
Okay, I'm with you.
Also, we were taught the function of the ID and why we should use selector.
Oh, well, that's good. That's good. At least, the more you practice, the more you know about it. If you don't know, I'm also on a course. Even it's not just a course. I'm on multiple courses. Though I think
Yeah.
I have pended one of them. I cannot keep myself.
Yeah.
One is a very, very heavy course. I had to pause the other.
Yeah.
Oh, you just have to learn. Continue
Right.
learning always.
Yeah.
Please find time to go through this. It will help you a lot.
The gig for gig.
Not really. There are so many CSS websites online.
Okay.
You can. I think we also have CSS tricks. Is also one of them.
CSS.
Tricks. Yes. I
Oh,
think.
which one is recommended? Which one is better?
No,
At
no
least
CSS.
except for the
CSS tricks will not give you, will not teach you as a novice. They are there to
Okay.
solve a particular problem.
Okay.
Like if you have a problem like this is how you can just go over it. Let's check a bit of what they've done so far. See. Uh, See, look at this one. Is this one friendly? This is not novice friendly. Can
Okay.
this different ways to get CSS gradient shadow.
Intermediate level.
At least you must at least be okay with foundation before you move here. That's why sometimes if I tell you something, I have to tell you, is it for your level? And if you look at this one, they are trying to analyze something so much.
Yeah.
You find so many stuffs here. Uh-huh. There are so many. Just check online. I didn't find it. Nobody taught me this one. Or nobody told me geeks exist somewhere. I found it
Okay.
myself.
All
You
right.
too will find it yourself. You find so many other stuffs. Um, in the absence of question, do you have any question, please, before we call it a day?
Yeah. No question for now.
Do have a lovely day. Bye
All
bye.
right. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Yeah. Good night.